investigator is lying because they use yung mga standard, what do you call that? The standard facts that he dropped it, he saw it, and those things. He saw him carrying it. They have some very standard. They use even the template of the previous affidavits. So they know that the case should not be filed. But the police officers would say, but Your Honor, if our affidavits contain all the elements of the crime, you have no right to dismiss it. That's true. So they have to file it. So, Justice, the Secretary's dilemma, we somewhat agree that we will next time, I hope soon, we would like to raise the standard for filing cases to a higher level. Let us say clear and convincing evidence. We will not file it without prejudice to your giving us better evidence. Then that we're going to file it. Otherwise, it will not go to court. The other thing that I suggested to her is that we should give the plea bargaining job, remove it from the court, and give it to the fiscal. Because the fiscal can negotiate with, we have the evidence, we will ask for maximum penalty for you, etc. So you have the chance, you can plea bargain. But if you do it with the court, especially it's compulsory for the complainant to be present, and the wound of the complainant is still fresh. If you say you propose plea bargaining, he say, I will never agree. And then 5 years later, when still coming back to court in the case that decided, he would say, I wish I had agreed to that plea bargaining, has gone to jail already. See? So that's some of the plans that we have in the United States. It used to be only 50% of cases filed with the district attorney's office go to court. Today, they tell me, one of the American lawyers was consulting with me, told me that only 3% of cases go to court. You know how it will unclog our dockets?
So that's a very good idea.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Justice. Good luck.
Justice Hermosissima.
Good morning.
Well, in that connection, when Thomas Dewey was of the United States, was the prosecutor in New York, he had a 100% conviction
Yes.
because he would not file any case which is not which is not strong.
That should be the case, Justice.
Now, there are many sectors that would prefer that we abolish the bar examination. Instead of that, they propose that examination should be made of every year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. In that case, if a student is not capable and during the first year, he can be eliminated. Second year, the same thing, until the fourth year. And you see what's happening now. Only 20% in the average pass the bar. What happens to the 80%?
25%, indeed. 20%.
What happens to the 80%? They're jobless.
No, some of them become police officers
So-
and legal researchers and.
So, I think the idea is reasonable because that will eliminate the students who are not capable of being lawyers. What do you say to that?
Well, Your Honor, there's a public interest in having only capable lawyers qualify. The function of the Supreme Court under the Constitution is to manage the admission of lawyers to the bar examination. And actually, I can compare the role of the bar examination as a final check Like, for example, in a big garage of taxis, you have somebody there at the gate before the taxis goes out to check if all the tires are okay. The engines, the wiper, the doors are closing, and before it goes out, because it will render public service. It should be safe. Should take the passengers to where they want to go. So there's a final check. We are not involved in the production line, no? Or what the cars they manufacture, etc. But we are certainly, our role is to protect the public. But if we follow that suggestion, Your Honor, please, with due respect to them, what will happen is that it will be the schools who will really decide whether they will become lawyers or not. And as you know, not all schools have the same standards of instructions. I wish they have. The court will give the exams. Every year, the Supreme Court. Well, I think that's also possible, except that will be entail a lot of work. What I was suggesting is we give an exam the second year. Well, that's something that just crossed my mind. We give the exam on the second year after the basic subjects. And then after that, we will determine whether they can already proceed or not. And then after they proceed, we can have just oral examination, interviews, or something like that to see whether they're qualified. In other jurisdictions, they require apprenticeship. Because, you know, if you throw the lawyers out into the open, and he has not handled the case, he can send people to jail or lose a lot of money because he is not yet trained. In Japan, you have to pass through a rigid apprenticeship, and then you are allowed to go. That way we protect the public. No, it's the public interest that we are after.
Another system is you only have at least one law school for all. Like in Hong Kong, for example, there are very few lawyers because only lawyers, only students of law who go to London to study law will be
yes.
admitted.
I suggest Ateneo and UST, Your Honors. I did not study there. No, I'm just joking.
Cases which are not necessarily decided en banc are decided by a division of the Supreme Court.
Yes, Your Honor.
The decision of the ponente in that division is considered a decision of the whole court.
That's true.
There are objections to this manner of deciding cases because it is felt that the decision of a division is not a reflection of the sentiment of the whole court. What are your thoughts on this matter? Would you agree that the cases be decided en banc instead of by division?
Well, I may just say that if it is by just one, by the en banc, then you are going to have only one functioning body. With the divisions, we multiply our production 3 times. And as you know, as I said, how many cases are we every year? Maybe about 5,000 cases. So
one point is
very
that
difficult for just
Yes.
one body. It will be a very small, what do you call that? A very small hole for a large amount of data or cases to come in and not get through. We will have problems.
in the United States, for example, there are only cases that go up to the Supreme Court only consist of 100.
100 cases. Yeah, I agree.
100 per semester,
I agree. Yeah.
because the cases that go up to the Supreme Court are limited only to constitutional issues. Now, what do you say to the practice now in the Supreme Court, which says, uh, well, only questions of fact, of course, only questions of law are supposed to be attended to by the Supreme Court. But why are we accepting cases